the film all the way to the end. So I work in pre-production, post-production, and during the shoot. I'm always there with the director to help him through the shoot.
As they're working on the film, you at the very beginning say, okay, should this be something that you take care of, or something that we actually shoot in real life?
Exactly. We prep the film, we have a script, and we do a lot of what we call previs, which is actually doing an animated version of the film before we shoot it. And then we decide what's going to be shot and what's going to be us.
So I know that when there's a visual effects film, there's a lot of visual effects shots.
Yeah.
How many visual effects shots were in this film?
There's about there's 1,750 visual effects shots in the film.
Okay, got it.
But we work for the cut changes constantly, so we work all the way up to at some point we have 4,000 shots that we're working on. But in the end, in the film, there's that amount, 1,750.
So all those, at the end of the credits, you saw about probably, I think, what, 15 to 20 different studios that worked on different aspects, so they worked on all those. Stuff.
Yeah.
Amazing. What was your inspiration for some of the visual effects here, especially the quantum realm? Because that was like amazing. You did you did the Doctor Strange stuff, and you did this. You had to make this maybe a little different.
Yeah, well, we had the first Ant-Man, obviously, that took us all the way to what we call the Void, which is that black, dark environment. But then we wanted to go deeper. We knew that we couldn't find Janet here, so she had to be further into the quantum realm. There's a lot of work that we did on Doctor Strange that we did at that time. We went through a lot of what we call the multiverse, and there was a hint of the quantum realm at that time. Again, inspired by the first Ant-Man, but then slightly different. And this time we went even further away. I know Peyton did a lot of work with the visual department, visual development department at Marvel. We have some people dedicated for that, and we took from that point on. And they did some concept for us, and then we did even more concept. And we did a lot of iterations to find the look of it. We wanted it to be very, a world where when you get down into it, it's just very disoriented. That's what's happening to Hank. As he goes into the quantum realm, he kind of loses his mind, and that's what we wanted to do. So very active, very always phasing. There was that relationship with what's happening to Ghost, and she's also impacted by the quantum energy. So it was all about finding a key elements where the quantum realm and what was happening to Ghost were all related, and what was happening to Hank as well.
What was the most challenging or the most fun part of working on this film?
It was fun working with Peyton because he's a very, the director Peyton Reed is a very fun person to work with. And also just working with the changing size all the time. In the first one, they did a lot of macro photography, which was very, him getting small, but he wanted to get away from that and just be very playful with the size that he has to go through and the fact that the regulator doesn't work anymore. So that was very funny to, in pre-production, working with Peyton, find all the gags that we were about to do. I would say that one of the most biggest challenges on this film was that we started shooting it less than a year ago. We started shooting it in end of July 2017 and finished shooting in November in Hawaii. Actually, the last scene was filmed in Hawaii. And then we went into post-production and we started editing the film and doing some additional photography all the way up till 5 or 6 weeks ago.
Wow.
So this is the kind of challenge, we had really 4 or 5 months to do all these visual effects for the film, so it's really challenging to do that. That was the biggest challenge, time. You always find time.
Always time, right.
It's always time, like Dr. Strange says. It's all about time.
We only have that time stone.
Yeah.
All right, let's open up to the audience for questions. If you have questions, raise your hand, raise them high, wave around. Okay, let me run back and then do the, oh, right here.
There's a mic up there.
You do. Okay, got it. All right, cool. Let's have a question up. Thank you, Levi.
Hi guys, very well done.
Thank you.
What is the most challenging or funniest studio or producer note you got through the whole process?
Oh my God. I don't know. Challenging? Well, I mean, we get 1,000 notes every day coming from the editing room, to be honest. They change the film. The Marvel process is really crazy. They change the film every day. So you get called in the editing room Kevin Feige is there, and Peyton, and all the top heads at Marvel, and they really work on the film all the time. And then you get like, hey, there was a lot of additional photography we did at some point that add another ghost layer into it. And there was a mixture of shots where we had shots from the original ghost layer mixed with shots from the new ghost layer. The two sets were looking nothing like they looked so different because they couldn't rebuild the original one. So the question was like, what if we wanted to make the old ghost layer look like the new ghost layer, or the new ghost layer look like the old ghost layer? And I totally, my two arms fell off my shoulders. I was like, well, what are we talking about? And it was, I said, well, it's going to be challenging in the 3 weeks we have left, but we can try it. And then they just said, well, maybe too challenging. So they decided to go around and re-edit some stuff, and then we did another set of additional photography. But it was one of the crazy requests we had.
All right, next question for Stephane Ceretti, Marvel Studios, visual effects supervisor. Yes, it is. I can hear you loud and clear.
Hey, a little nervous here. As CGI and visual effects come along nowadays, since technology is advancing, how far do you think, like I said already, CGI and visual effects have come along when it comes to making movies like Ant-Man and Wasp and Doctor Strange?
We can pretty much do anything, as long as you give us a bit of time and a tiny amount of money. Tiny, microscopic, but we can do anything. I think it's not because we can do everything that we have to do everything. Just to give you an example, on Doctor Strange, we had the effect that was called when they were going out of their bodies, and we had a very cool effect that was really, flashy and everything, but we actually took it down and made it more simple because we wanted to keep the storytelling going, and we wanted to keep the acting going. And it's about the same thing with Ghost here. We had a first pass on the entire film with Ghost effect, and it was really annoying because we had way too much.
Too much of
it was just too much of phasing all the time. Plus the sound design was pretty harsh. So when we do a few audience screenings, and the first reaction we got from that was that this is really annoying, and we had to back down. So again, we can't do everything. I mean, we do CG humans. We do for Ghost effect, we had to do a CG version of Ava. Full CG with face, because we had to create all these different phasing things that were all CG created with face animation and all that stuff. So we can do pretty much everything. It's just about, do we need to do everything for the story? And that's where we come in, and we just try to balance between showing off as visual effects and then just telling the story and helping the story.
Thank you.
All about the story. Next question?
So first, that movie was filmed with so much beautiful art, so wonderful work. So I know Doctor Strange embraced the beautiful Jack Kirby cosmic aesthetic for dark dimension stuff. So my question is, was there a specific older artist who designed colors inspired the layers of the quantum realm?
It was Jack Kirby, but it was mostly Steve Ditko, who actually passed today, unfortunately. The guy who drew Spider-Man the first time and who actually invented Doctor Strange passed away today. So yeah, we looked at those guys, especially for Doctor Strange. Steve Ditko was a huge inspiration in terms of color palette and the design of the dark dimension at the time. And same here, we just look back into the comics and we see, the color palette in the comics is pretty crazy and pretty intense. And also we have, as I said, we have the visual department, visual development department at Marvel, and it's a group of very talented artists. There's a core group of people that design the suits and also help with the environment. And they came up with some of the color palette, but obviously then, I take it on board and I just drive it where I want it to be going. I work a lot with Peyton and all the execs at Marvel, and the quantum realm is a pretty important thing, right now. So we paid a lot of attention to it, and trying to set a lot of things for what's to come.
Awesome. I think you have time for one more question.
Hey, what's the division of labor like for all the different VFX studios? You have one studio that does Lego stuff, and one studio that does water effects, or does every studio do a little bit of everything?
Yeah, it's very complex actually because we have to strategize, especially when we have just 4 or 5 months in post. We have to be able to place the work in all the right places. We have some studios that are better at design work, which is like the quantum realm, for example. We have studios that are better at water work, and Skyline has done all the work on Giant Man in the Bay and things like that. We have studios that are better at animation or environment, like for example, DNEG has been double negative in Vancouver, has taken care of the entire car chase. We shot the car chase in Atlanta, not in San Francisco.
Really?
So yeah, 75% of the car chase is actually Atlanta, and we replaced the entire background. So everything you see that takes place in San Francisco, 75% of it is actually Atlanta, and it's all CG backgrounds. We just kept the streets. So, these guys are very good at environment, and we use them for that kind of work. So it's all about finding the right vendors. There's different things. There's the capacity, the number of shots they can take. We need a big vendor to do the final sequence because it's a big sequence, obviously. So we need a very big vendor that can take a lot of work. So it's all, that we all look at these things and we try to balance amongst the vendors.
Thank you very much for this
Thank you.
Q&A. I'm Kevin Winston with Digital A. We do panels with this all the time. Let's get up for Stephane, Ceretti, Marvel Studios.